There has been no progress on the allotment during the second week of March. It was bitterly cold, and on the 6th we had a fall of snow, followed by rain, some of which was very heavy. This lasted till Friday, when we had a bright sunny day, but bitterly cold. Well wrapped up, with gloves on, I cleared the first 2 sections adjacent raised bed number 1. I found it difficult to shoot the videos with gloves on. This section, though left untouched for a year, was easily cleared using the strimmer and then a rake. The ground was still firm, but the remnants of the compost just came away, bringing the couch grass along with it. The second stretch, slightly more difficult due to the fig tree and the rotten fence post. Using the same method of strimming and raking, I made good progress, bouncing the strimmer around the base of the fig tree. Raking separated the weeds from the firm earth. The only problem being was stopping every now and then to clear the weeds out of the tines of the rake. Another irritation was the couch grass had formed clumps at the path edge, which were cleared using the mattock. Branches of the fig tree had thorny brambles entwined around them, and wearing a strong pair of leather gloves, these were removed. Trimming the fig tree left me with an annoying stump, which was hampering progress. I then sawed this off to clear the way. I dug around the base of the rotten fence post to observe the break, and the soil was firm but very wet, sticking to the face of the spade. Not surprising with all the heavy rain that we've been having lately. What I had forgotten was when I erected this fence, I was regularly raided by the local rabbit population, and therefore installed an anti-rabbit netting below ground. What is crossing my mind? Do I have an alternative to removing and replacing this post? I had subscribed recently to a Leeds allotment channel known as the Veg Plot Man, and he had fenced his plot using pallets. I think I should look into this method. The anti-rabbit mesh is slightly damaged, but if you don't tell the rabbits, I certainly won't. End of the day, I put 2 panels together, and after I had cut off the ends, I positioned them in the respective position temporarily, just to see how they look. Not bad. And then as I am packing away my gear, it started to rain. Next morning, no rain, sun shining bright. Great, lots of great. It was blowing a gale. Not only was the trifle blowing over, I was having difficulty standing as well. Set about screwing the first panel to the adjacent post after levelling the base and ensuring that it is level. Strip some of the horizontals on the second pallet, after cutting off some of the protrusions. This was a bit of a lull in the wind, so I tried using the tripod. No luck, blown over. There she goes. So it's back to the stills with the camera and Ken Burns. I'm in London tomorrow, so it's back to the allotment on Wednesday. We had a change in the weather. We're getting days of bright sunshine with intermittent rain. This doesn't affect working on the fence, though. The main task is removing the wire mesh off the rotten post. A fiddly time-consuming operation. Sometimes wearing gloves for safety, sometimes without, for ease of use of the wire cutters. I've had to repair this fence many times due to the small gap between my boundary and the pylon, resulting in my use of large staples hammered into the post, but with some perseverance and effort I succeed in their removal. The objects of the electric board's policy is to remove these pylons and position the cables underground, which I suppose will cause more inconvenience and damage. We can only wait and see. Those large staples removed, I can attack the chicken wire more comfortably, not having to stand amid the brambles that grow in the pylon area, with no interference from any human presence. Pressing the post down forces the chicken wire off the post, leaving just a few staples to be removed. And even the opportunity to have a sit down while removing those staples near the base. Post is finally released and deposited away from the area of work. Now take the next pallet onto a trestle and prepare it for erecting in the next position on the fence line. Damaged timbers have been removed and I screw replacement rails into position. Squaring them up using the right angle of the saw blade, and the rail is then secured using screws. The rail is then secured using screws, and when secured, the excess timber of the rail is sawn off. The pallet is taken to its position next in line, screwing firmly to the last positioned pallet, and after its position has been levelled with the mattock. Staggering the height of the fence takes into account the ground slope of my allotment plot. I'm off to collect a length of 2x2 to act as a post, which I have cut into its base a sharp point to assist in puncturing the rabbit protection beneath the soil. Don't climb on that stool, Michael. Remember your vertigo. Tackle it from the other side. I think that's firm enough. Don't want to split the timber due to venting your frustration. Another piece of 2x2 has a point formed to position it at the adjoining position with the last pallet fixed. And as that previous post, hammered firmly into the ground. Off for screws, and the drill and the pallet is screwed firmly in position. We can now sew the protruding top, and that's another pallet in position. Now we've got to find a candidate for the next pallet. Should I say the next section of the fence. So it's off to find another pallet. See you next week. Bye.